past few years, collective research has debunked the popular myths that a high-fiber diet lifestyle can cause unfinished housework, late dinners, and neglected family members. In fact, continuing studies show that a high-fiber diet lifestyle may significantly improve the disposition of a crafter, creating a more contented home life. Furthermore, continued exposure can develop an ability to endure meetings, waiting rooms, school functions, and sporting events without experiencing the kind of boredom it makes one want to consume lead paint. Here are just a few ways one can properly increase daily fiber intake. Visit your local yarn store or shop online. Join online fiber communities. Tour sheep or alpaca farms. Attend fiber festivals. Or listen to the High Fiber Diet podcast. Please remember to spread your fiber intake throughout the day rather than trying to get it all in one shot. Stretching and resting is important, and your body will thank you.
Hi, this is Kagi, and welcome to the High Fiber Diet podcast. Welcome to those that are new, and welcome back to those that are returning. If you like this content, click like and subscribe. Oh, I don't do show notes. It's something that I used to do in the past, but if you have a question, ask it. I'll get back to you within a week. Or find me over on Instagram, COGGIE_TM. Make it easy. Since I spoke to you last time, I have finished a couple things and then continued on with other things. I don't know that I have started anything else other than what I finished because I did a quick project. So the first thing that I have finished is the Lucky Dog sweater. And this is for my daughter's Chihuahua. And it has the little legs right here. And this should fit her. I tried it on Cupid, who's about the same size as the Chihuahua. And he was just not having it, but he was cute. And it fit him. So this was done out of a Knit Picks Heathers in I think it's an 80-20 blend, but I'm not exactly sure, but it is in peach. And I'm loving the color of it, and I have enough left to do a sweater, and I may make Boo a sweater to match her puppy, but we'll see. She's got the same coloring as me, so yeah, it would look okay. So I finished this up. Will I make another one? Yes. I have a few more puppies that need sweaters, but I need dimensions on them first. It was a fairly quick knit, but it's just as tedious as a hat to me. You know, it's got the little things like the legs, and it's knit from the bottom up, and the ribbing's done on part, and then it's stockinette stitch on the other, and it's just fiddly in some ways, and I find hats fiddly. Other people absolutely adore knitting hats. If you notice, I do not knit a whole bunch of hats. So it'll get around to it, but I have to get around to it to get around to it. Yeah. The next thing I finished, did I show you this last time? I made up squares. I grabbed the sample box from Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, and I'm not sure if I showed this or not, but I was sitting in a meeting and just decided to crochet up some and fall in love with one of them, and I did. The one that I fell in love with is Leghorn, which I think is this one. These are all done in, I believe, her blueberry colorway, and she gave it to you in a candy sampler box, and it was really cute. And it was, here are these colors, and this is what you have. And there's actually 8 colors here, because I did the 6 and then I did the arounds, because I knew that 8 wouldn't come out to anything larger, and I wasn't going to use this. So it was just feeling the different fabrics, and yeah. Looking at it, it might be this one is Leghorn, but I went ahead and contacted Lynn and asked for different colors than this, for a sweater's worth of that. And yes, I said I wasn't buying yarn as in huge, but I want it. So I'm going to. I'm not overbuying yarn. I have a project in planned, and as soon as it comes in, I'm going to start on that. So I have that on order. Then I decided to knit up a bunny cube. And the bunny cube is supposed to be square. So picture him like that. And I put him on the diagonal for his face because the nose should stick out further. And I put his ears on the diagonal. And I still haven't attached a tail yet. I'll probably get a little pom-pom for it. But isn't he cute? Am I the best with embroidery? No. But I think he's cute. And he is going to go right up here and be part of the wall for right now. So that is my bunny cube. I did this out of scrap yarn. I'm not even sure what kind. It did not take a full skein. I don't think it took a half a mini. I mean, it was just very simple. You cast on the bottom, it's a free pattern, and then you knit in the round after doing the bottom and picking up the edges, and then you're supposed to knit a flap just like the top, but what I did was I reduced down, and in reducing down it came down like the top of a hat, and it gave it a little bit of a roundness, which I kind of liked because bunny heads aren't square even though it's supposed to be a bunny cube. And then I did his ears, and they're supposed to be 100% garter, and I wanted them to curl, so I did it in a way that had, let's see, can I get it to focus? There we go. Has stockinette right in the middle of it. So when you flop them and you push that in, they curl like a bunny's ear does. So that's what I wanted. That's what I did. It was quick and easy. Now my big one that I finished, I'll stand up for this so I don't knock into my office isn't very big. But this has been washed and blocked, and I made it to be able to wear it with jeans. This is my Magnus Cardi, and it doesn't fully close. I decided not to do it fully clothed, or I would have made this wider, or I would have done 2 more repeats or 3 more repeats on the front sections, because you do the back and the front together to the armholes, and then you separate and do the front and you do the back. And then you're supposed to do the sleeves from bottom up. I did them from top down, if you can tell. The yarn did its own thing. Thankfully, it turned out pretty well. I kind of did a little bit of manipulation, but not a whole bunch. I also did the pockets, and I really love the way it came out. It hits me just about upper thigh, which is perfect, right over the bum. I used Lion Brand Rose Heather woolies for the banding and ribbing and all of the in-betweens, and then I used Caron Colorama in Rose Garden, and I started with the dark pink at the bottom and then came up, and that's exactly how it was pulling out of the center pull ball. So it happened here. I did manipulate so that I have a string there. There we go. Have to clip that. I did manipulate so that the top of the sleeve would also start with the blue so that it was like contiguous, and it hit almost perfect on the arms as to going down. And then what I had pulled off to make sure that it had done that was perfect for the pockets. I really needed only 2 of the skeins of Colorama, and I still have let me come over here. We'll sit down now. Let's see. So I barely touched the dent of this one, and that was just to get the coloring right for the pockets. But I could have just used the leftovers of, let me pull it all out. So when I had to find the correct color on the blue, that's how much I took off to get to the correct color when I had to attach the blue arms, because the other blue was too light. And the pinks, to get them to where they were, that's what I had to pull off. So out of two, this is out of the two skeins, that's what I had left of those two. And then out of 4 balls of Woolies, this is what I have left. And it's not much, probably enough to do a square or two on a project that I'm thinking about. And this knit up or crocheted up fairly fast. You're supposed to start with the ribbing on the bottom of the sweater, and I started with a foundation single crochet instead, and then did the full body, did all the body, and then went back and picked up and did the ribbing at the bottom because I wanted the ribbing knitted. And I started with the ribbing on, or no, I'm sorry, the sleeve I worked top down, and I did not do the single row of single crochet before going into the ribbing on the sleeves. And the neckband, I didn't add anything different. I just knit it instead of crocheting it. It was only supposed to be like 4 rounds. I did it to 10. Each, the sleeves and the bottom are done to 12. That was just a choice that I made. And I used an H hook. Is that correct? Yes, an H 5mm hook for the crochet part. I used a 10mm, no, 9mm, 9mm, no, 5.5mm size US 9 needle. I believe that's correct, for the ribbing. And I did 1x1 ribbing. When I cast off, I did a knit 1, purl 1, cast that off, and then in between the purl and the knit, I did a yarn over. So instead of bringing the yarn to the front, I just brought it around the needle and knit, and then I did a regular purl. And so every knit stitch has an extra bit of ease in it. And that's a ribbing that I like for 1x1 rib. Is it as pretty as the Italian bind off? No, but I don't like doing sewn bind offs. So if I don't have to, I don't. But I'm really liking this, and I think I might be knitting another one. I have a few more types of yarn that would go really well with this, and I might do a solid color instead of a color pooling. So I really like it. And I mean, this is how it started, and that's why it started with the pink at the bottom. I could have pulled from the outside, but I pulled from the inside, and it just did it up and washed beautifully. It has a very nice halo on it. Don't know if you can see that or not, but it is squishy soft. And yes, I know it's partially acrylic. This is 71% acrylic, 18% nylon for the main body, and then the Woolies is, I believe, an 80-20. Is it still? Yeah, 80% acrylic, 20% wool. So yeah, it went through the washer and the dryer. I don't know that I will dry it again because it bloomed up just exactly how I want it. So if I go to wash it again, it'll just be a wash and lie flat to dry. So those are my finished objects. I'm going to keep this on and continue on because I had so many finished objects. I didn't have a lot of work in progress. just putting this down in there so my desk is a little bit less of a mess. The first thing I worked on is I went and had a mani-pedi. I have switched over to just gel, not doing dips on my nails anymore. So it didn't take as long. But while I was there, I worked on my Opal Frosty Ice in Frozen Mountain Lake colorway. And I got to the point where I have about 3 more rows and I will be decreasing for the toes. So again, on these, I cast on size 3 needles. 48 stitches. And then I reduced down after doing the ribbing to 44. So I have 11 stitches on each. And I'm just doing segments of different kinds of knitting, come down to a typical slip stitch heel with gusset, work the gusset down, stockinette body foot, and I'll take it down to a rounded toe. That's just my standard boot sock. This is I think it's called a 6-ply, 8-ply, I don't know. It's a DK weight yarn for socks, and I like those for my slipper socks around the house, and since I'm not wearing shoes all that often right now, that works for me. And that is being held in my Stitch by Jessalou squirrel bag given to me by a friend, and I love it. So that's one thing I worked on. The next thing I worked on is I guess I do have something I started. I don't know. Did I show this last time? I don't think so. Some other mandala yarn. This one has a wool content, but it was given to me, or I got it in a surprise package, so I'm not exactly sure what it is. And the circle is falling apart. I have some of the yarn in there, but this is the colorway of it. It has some alpaca in it, and I can see the guard hairs. So it is squishably soft, but I have to watch who I give this to. But this is the Agatha reading wrap. And the Agatha reading wrap is a free / paid for pattern. You can get most of what you need to know off a YouTube if you just type in Agatha, like Agatha Christie reading wrap. And it does this box stitch on the outside, and then you have a solid stitch of double crochets in the middle, and you have the box stitch on the other side, and this will grow up to be a flat backed wrap. And I am making this for my sister instead of the other one that I thought about. I think she would really like this. The only difference that I'm going to do on this is, if I can, on the outermost sections that you pull around, I'm going to put pockets so that she can carry her cell phone or the book that she's reading. And so if she goes outside with it or if she's inside, I am working on that in a 3mm hook. These are my favorite hooks from Tulip. I really like the hook part of that. It is the boy style instead of the Bates style, and I like the inline of it without the flat mouthy part. And so I have barely started that, but that will be this whole green section, or out to the whole green section. I'm going to go as big as I can on that. I'm hoping to get that done fairly soon. This is in my I'm the youngest sister, so the rules don't apply to me. That's the truth. And then I picked up, let's see, this was the next one I picked up. It's still in a Christmas gnome bag. And the maker of this bag is no longer doing, but I picked back up my Advent Easy Yoke Light, Easy Eyelet Yoke Light from Knititude. And again, I have worked on this. I worked on it during Advent and got to the point of separating for the sleeves and finishing the sleeve on this one and this one. And now I have added 2 colors to the bottom. So as it goes down, I add 6 rows, which makes up 1 inch of a color. And as you can see, there's different colors there. And I think I'm 2 rows into the switch over of the new color. So I am on color 13, which is this deep rose color. And the next color will be 14, which brings it down a little bit more dusty. And let's see, can you see behind me here? That is where I am on that. And I'm pulling them off in 2s. As I put one back, I'm pulling the next one so that I have them balled up. I think I only have it balled through the 14, so 15 on are still in skeins, and I have to get those caked up before I can use them. And that's what this is sitting here for. And this was pulling out of, I was frogging the rest of what I talked about on the last episode, the stuff that I was frogging. This is the Kaboo bamboo yarn from Lion Brand. I got that all off the needles and ready and set up. But this yarn is from Suburban Stitcher. And again, I'm doing the Easy Eyelet Yoke. And as you can see, the eyelets are there. Everything's done. Now I'm in the Stockinette Forever part, which would be easy and just a whip through. But I'm doing it every 6 rows in a different color. And then I will finish off. The gray is from Stonehenge Fiber Mills. And this is the color Pewter. And Shepherd's Wool Light. And that's just tucked right up here so I don't mess it up by, even now I just grabbed it and it's pulling off. So, yep. So that's easy there. I'm trying to get everything organized and it's slowly coming together. So this is my after dinner knit right now. And then I have my meeting knit. So if I'm in meetings at work, I want something I don't have to think about at all. And I have brought out the Easy Raglan recipe that I've been working on. Ooh, there we go. I had it all bead up. That one's a little bit too big. I'll have to find a different stitch marker for, or stitch stopper for that. So that's for bigger, but it does have the bee and the sheep. And I've done maybe 6 rows since the last time we talked on this. And I did not get this other one caked up because I'm not quite finished with this one. This is done out of Luminosa from Cascade in the Tiger Eye, or what I'm calling Tiger Eye number 15. And it is being held in a, I believe it's a Stitch by Jessalou. It is Pooh bag because Pooh is my favorite. Well, Eeyore's my favorite. But I love Pooh and Tiglet and Roo. My car is Kanga. My wheel is Roo. Christopher Robin. I remember my mom reading that to me when I was young. So, yeah. I don't think I have anything else. I haven't even been spinning. It's just been a week of go, go, go. I've been in classes all week. So a lot of this knitting and crochet was done in classes and just taking my CEs for work, and that happens. So I've been busy with that. On the last episode, somebody shouted out and said, if I'm selling this, get a hold of them. Well, I posted back, and I haven't heard back from them, but I posted back on the comments that if they want it and they want to pay shipping, give me a holler. So if that is you, give me a holler and it's yours. I just have to put it in a shipping bag. So I did have to rip out some. It was too tangled. I tossed it, but for the most part, there's definitely enough here for a sweater. So, or a summer t-shirt, should I say, depending on your size. But yeah, I have enough yarn. I have been going through, and in between breaks in classes, I have been going through all of the yarn, and I am now starting to sort by weight and by color, and getting rid of things that I'm not interested in anymore. Putting some aside to be sold. Most of it's going to the VA or the retirement community or things like that. Because it's good wool, and it's not what I love anymore. And I've got a lot of bags that I'm going to be getting rid of, just downsizing, and thinking intentionally about what I want, because not only is this my craft room, but this is also my office, and I sit in it every day. And number one, it has to be clean. Number two, it has to be safe. And number three, I want things around me that bring me joy. So a lot of mess does not bring me joy. One of the things I did for work was I took the Myers-Briggs test. And I know a lot of you have probably taken that Myers-Briggs test, but I found out that I'm extroverted and I'm a sensory, and I forget what the next one is. It's thinker or something else. And then the last one is I'm judicial. So basically it told me that my ultimate job type is event planner or human resources. Well, that's what I do. I'm a human resource director, and I've put on events for years. So I guess I'm in the right field without knowing I was in the right field. I will say that it has changed over the years. It used to be that I was more introverted than extroverted. And I think the last time I took the test, I was, it's got to be at least 20 years ago. And it was not the same as what it is now. And then I had Sarge take the test, and it said, well, you're naturally the, I'm the caretaker. He's the defender. Duh. And then a couple other friends took it, and they came up with, this kind of fits me. You can always look at them like those, those old scroll-like horoscopes that you used to get, and it would say, you're this or you're that. And it's like it always touched on something very ambiguous that anybody could fit into. And so, take everything with a grain of salt, but it was fun to do, and it was part of class, so I took it. And it gave me a little bit of thought process on going forward and things that I'm doing. Just a little bit. Hey, let's focus it on this, or let's focus it on this in order for it to work out correctly. And that works for me. I like rules. I like boundaries. I like also breaking rules and breaking boundaries. So it depends on that. But it was educational, and I like having educational things. A couple other things that happened. What else happened? Well, we saw Boo and we saw Bear. Been talking to them quite a bit. We're now having a monthly get together for a family. Not as in we don't see each other, but the grander scope of family, cousins, Sarge's siblings, his parents, things like that. We're doing that monthly so that we at least see each other once a month, because it's been too long. We've lived here 6 months almost, and we've seen them twice, and that's just not working anymore. If we can't get together monthly, what's the point in us being here? Both of us work remotely. We can be anywhere we want to be, and the snow's here. So yeah, no, it was nice coming home. So lots of snow. It's now melting. I like that idea. And I know it's going to be back. Don't like that idea, but without snow, we don't have pretty lakes. So I'm okay with that. Oh, I know what's going on. The whodunit. Have you put in your guess? I guess the final clue that I have to give is blackjack. Is the blackjack the cards, or is the blackjack the knife? Is this a twist? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? I don't know. I know that Two Sisters and Some Yarn has put out the final, and yes, I've read it, but all I have to give you is the clue. I'd already placed my guess. You do need to get your guess in relatively fast. And yeah. Other than that, I'm thinking about doing a craft day here locally pretty soon. Need to look at my calendar, see when I can get the front office, or just invite people here. Problem with here is I don't have a lot of parking here. You have to park up the road, and yeah, that's a pain depending on the weather. But I'm thinking about doing a craft day so that it's nice and easy and relaxed, and we'll be able to just have fun. No, I used to do it every year in February, so maybe I'll do it in February. But yeah, I think this was a quick down and dirty, and until next time, check your checkbook before starting the high fiber diet. Bye-bye.